What is up, boys and girls of YouTube? We're back with a tier list. All of my comments, all of my shit on Twitch, even on Twitter, you guys are telling me to do a tier list. And I've been saying just wait. Let me get a feel of the patch a little bit. Let me see how things are going. Let me do some scrimming. Let me play some casuals. Let me play some ranked, which I've got the opportunity to do. So we're going to go ahead and do a tier list. Before we get into that, hit the subscribe button. Hit it right now. There's going to be like 60, 70,000 of you that watch this video, and over half of you are not subscribed. Hit the sub button. You know you're coming back. I want you guys to come back. Make sure you leave a comment and a like, because it helps. Subscribe first, other stuff after you watch some of the videos, so you don't tell me how bad the tier list is without actually watching it. Just saying. All right, we're going to jump into it. We're going to go through this as a focus on ranked, with some hints at competitive play and casual. So the focus is you guys playing ranked. That is the idea behind this in Conquest, ranked Conquest. All right, Achilles. We're putting Achilles at A+. Great god, can play in almost every matchup and have a decent matchup. After going through some of the nerfs and changes and the way the meta's played out, he's not the best. He's not crazy because his early game is kind of weak in terms of clearing and pressuring. Granted, he can fight just fine at level 1, 2, 3, more like level 2, 3, 4, 5. But his clear is really slow, so he gets out pressured a lot in terms of that. So A+. Agni, one of the better mages in my opinion. I'm going to put Agni at A+ as well. Can pick him into almost every matchup, and he can have a decent game. His clear is not bad. His team fight is amazing. AMC, I'm going to put down in, I want to say B tier, but people always complain, oh, you think they're shit, blah, blah, blah. I don't necessarily, I'll put him in A-. I don't think AMC, no, fuck that. We're going to do B as like this tier. I'm going to explain it. So AMC right now has to have a team comp built around him, or has to have a strategy built around him. You can't just pick the god because it's time to play him. You have to have some plan. You have to not get dove. You have to have peel for him. You have to have pressure for him, because if you're getting pressured and you're backing off all the time, you are going to get screwed. So this B tier is going to be where I put all the gods that really have to have a comp built around them to be played, where they're not the worst in the world. I'll put those shitty gods in the C for later on. Apwash. You're actually seeing Apwash played a lot more. A hell of a lot more. I'm going to put Apwash in B tier because I still think the right strategy and situation has to come up. You have to be playing against gods that have healing, for one. You have to be able to pressure, because it's more than likely being played in the solo lane, maybe the mid lane, more than likely the solo lane. You have to make sure you have some kind of pressure and you aren't getting ganked on cooldown. Amma, I'm going to put an A-. God is decent, gets thrown into the right matchups, but doesn't have to have a team comp built around her. They pick a mage and you're gonna have the pressure off of it. You're gonna play Amma, good dive comp, gonna throw an Amma into it. It's not like we're picking this Amma and we have to do this. It's like, hey, our comp kind of works like this, or they pick this god, they pick that god, so I'm gonna pick Amma to dive. Where the god is good, you're not just gonna pick it because it can have counter picks, but you will play the god. On her, gonna be A-. Just into the right matchups is the only time you're gonna play on her. His clear is okay. His team fight is okay. His landing phase is okay. Some of his matchups are really bad. Some of them are pretty good. So you're kind of trading off. Anubis. I am going to put Anubis in the C tier. I think Anubis is poo-poo. I think the fact that he has no mobility and gets caught out 24/7 is why he's shit. Granted, he has some pressure early, which is awesome. But there are gods that can pressure evenly, or can match up to it, or can just kill early. With a jungle mid combo versus an Anubis and another jungle, there's a good chance you can win that fight if you have the right gods picked. So Anubis gets fucked. Ao Kuang, B tier, has to be the right team comp, in my opinion. In ranked, you can get away with it a lot more because people are dumb, but your early clear is bad, your early pressure is bad, and with people picking high pressure gods, you will get screwed over. But if people are playing those squishy gods, they're playing mages in the solo lane, they're playing Freya mid, and you already know you're going to lose pressure, play an Ao Kuang, take the L in the early game, play for the mid to late game. Aphrodite, B tier, has to have a team comp built around her to work at all, like literally at all. I will say she has some presence when played correctly. Has to have a team comp built around her. Apollo, B tier, just not that great in terms of laning phase and everything, and he's gonna only come up in some wild matchups or when a lot of gods are banned. Arachne, B tier. I think she's actually making a slight comeback because you have gods like Freya mid. Arachne does very well against Freya. You have solo laners that are mages. You have Chunga, you have Pooch, you have Baron. Arachne does well against those gods, those immobile mages and those immobile squishies. Arachne dumpsters. So I'm seeing her come back in the meta more, but it is one of those situations where they have to be playing certain gods for you to pick her. Ares, A minus. You can play him whenever you want. It's all about the laning phase and whether it works for you, and it's a god you are good at. Artemis, A plus, an amazing hunter, still very, very strong with the passive shift, passive change. You're seeing her play just as much as before. She loses the RNG crit, but overall she has guaranteed more damage in certain situations. So you're seeing her play. RDO, A minus. Decent god, played in the solo sometimes, played in the support sometimes. Nothing crazy. The cripple's nice. Athena, probably the best support in the game right now. I'm not going to put anyone in SS because nobody is so broken they have to get played. But Athena is going to be banned and picked in every single game anywhere. Ranked, competitive, it's going to happen. You'll see it in casuals all the time. The global presence still amazing. The CC is amazing. Does well in laning phase. So you're seeing Athena get picked up. Awilix, a little bit harder to place. You don't have to have a perfect comp to play Awilix. You don't have to be playing against very specific gods to play Awilix. If they have a lot of leaps, or you happen to have some knockups, or you're just very comfortable in the one-on-one matchup, Awilix is a good pick. You're very, very early clear. You're 1, 2, 3, kind of weak. It's pretty shitty. But then after that, you spike. You start clearing faster. You can kill people very easily. The CC is actually really useful. It goes a long way to have an aggressive jungler in the game, and the fact that Awilix can be aggressive after level 4 or 5 makes her actually pretty decent. She does get counterpicked very easily. There are gods that do pressure harder than her, so it can be a little bit risky to pick her early in your draft. Bacchus, B tier, has to be the perfect team comp, otherwise you're getting fucked. Bacchus Sura. You guys are going to be blown away by this, and I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm putting him in A+. Psych. Putting him in A, though. So, Bacchus Sura saw a shift in play, mainly because they added a change to the 1. You now do 10% more damage to anyone your 1 lands on, so your team can do more damage to those targets, which is dope. Awesome. Great. And then you have the fact that they shifted the ultimate where you can eat a creep with your 2. Not that big a deal. Very, very minor change. People overhype the fuck out of that. And then on top of that, we have Atalanta's bow buff. Atalanta's bow is a lot better. So with Bacca, you're playing for the early pressure in terms of jungle clear, not in terms of fighting. You are not going to be fighting at all. You're going to be invading. You want to know all their timers, and you want to be taking their buffs on fucking cooldown because your clear is so fast and you are so quick running around the map. You also have mobility out of your leap. You have the CC immunity out of your ult for a second. You can slow people. You can get away if you fuck up and you're out of position. So Bacca actually works in ranked right now. He really does. I know. I can't believe I'm saying this. On top of all of that shit, when they changed it to where you could eat one of your ult minions, they fucked up and made it so Bacchus Sura can backdoor towers and phoenixes. Your creeps, when you ult your little minions out onto the towers and stuff, it gives backdoor protections. It takes them away. Sorry, it doesn't give them, it takes them away. So a few patches ago, I don't know, a few months ago, 6, 7, 8 months ago, they took away, maybe even longer, they took away backdoor protection shredding by player-made minions. So Nuwa creeps don't take away tower protections anymore. Scotty Dog doesn't take away tower protections anymore. Nobody did. Nobody has for a while now. And all of a sudden, they do this change to Bacca. I don't know if it's on purpose or not. I haven't read anything. I don't know if it's a bug. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But right now, Bacchus Sura can ult onto a tower. The creeps will take away protections, and you can instantly fucking take that shit late game. You can take a Phoenix by yourself in like 5 seconds late game. Very, very easily. So that's happening a lot in ranked. You will notice it is happening a lot in ranked. So as of right now, I'll put Bacca in A. I'd almost put him higher, but I don't know if or when that bug / change is going to be reverted or whatever. So I don't want to put him any higher. I can't. Baron. I'm going to put Baron into S tier. I think Baron is actually really good, but I don't think Baron is good in the mid lane. I think Baron is a solo laner. I think you're building him tanky and making him out to be the most annoying god in the game, which is essentially what he is. His ultimate has a massive range and is insanely good in team fights, especially when you can't fucking die because your ult gives you reduced damage taken, and you're tanky with a hybrid build coming out of the solo lane. So literally no one will go on you. On top of that, your 2 heals and heals everybody, gives you movement speed. I don't know if it gives everyone else movement speed. I should check on that. But it's super fucking annoying. Plus you have a root that's a slow into a root. The god is by far the most annoying mage in Smite right now and is easily one of the top 3, 4, 5 gods. Easily. Bastet, C tier, just not good. Doesn't have CC, doesn't have high pressure, doesn't have high kill potential, kind of worthless. Bologna, A-, decent warrior, just nothing special. Cabrakan, B tier, has to have a team comp built around him to work at all. Camazotz, I want to put in B tier because I truly believe that he has to have some crazy team comp to work because I haven't even figured it out. I don't think he's shit. I just think the fact that just damage coming out of him is not enough. He does have pressure if he's able to clear and get an early lead, which is dope. But that's just not enough when there isn't CC and it's all pure damage, and there's gods with CC and pure damage that can do the same thing. Cerberus, A tier. I think Cerberus is one of the better supports in the game. Actually, I'm gonna move him up. A- or A+. Sorry. Cerberus is one of the better support gods. Potential to play in solo lane. Still has the flex. People aren't playing him as much, but I think he's still just as good. The protection shred is crazy, especially when you're running mages out of the solo lane. So say you have triple magic damage on your team and a Cerberus is shredding protections for you. Crazy. Plus you have CC out of the stun, the knock up on the ult, the drag on the ult, whatever. It's crazy. Cerninos, B tier. I think he just doesn't do enough damage. It doesn't have enough team fight potential. I think you could play him. I think there's some team comps that can make him useful. But it's just not common. I don't think CERN is as bad as Anubis and Bastet. I don't think CERN should be dropped into the C tier because he does have mobility, does have some damage, is still a hunter, and has CC in his kit. Just not the best hard CC. Chalk, A-, decent god, can be super annoying, but you're not going to play it in every team comp and you're not going to top pick it. Chunga, A tier, annoying solo laner. That's it. Can be played in the solo, can get counterpicked, but can play through counterpicked. A tier. Chernobog, S+. Best hunter in the game by far. The global ult is broken. The fact that he has high clear is broken. He is extremely safe when using the 3 correctly. He is broken. Sorry. Chiron, A-. So, Chiron is good. Not great. You have to utilize the Dispel on your 2 to be useful. And you have to use your ult correctly to be useful. So, A-. Kronos, B tier, has to have the right team comp to work. Just doesn't have anything, doesn't have pressure, doesn't have anything crazy till late game. Kukulin, A+. One of the safer, easier to pick, easier to play solo lane warriors. Easy. Cupid, B tier, has to have some crazy team comp or some crazy counter matchup. Dodgy, B tier, has to have a crazy counter matchup because your early clear is so fucking bad and almost every god in the game has CC immunity on their ults. So, Dodgy's not good. Discordia, A tier, pretty safe mid-mage. Has some matchups that aren't so good. Doesn't have the best early clear, but is a very safe, very solid mid-mage. Erlang Shen, A tier, solo laner or jungler. Actually works in both. You need to go a more hybrid build if you play in the jungle because you die so easily. Your mobility is not that nuts. But you have early clear, one of the highest clearing gods in the game early, and then early pressure because you can clear and fight easily. Fafnir, A tier, better support. Works great at shredding and clearing the objectives like Gold Fury, Portal Demon, Fire Giant. That's why he's so good. His team fight is very annoying when you're buffing everybody. Has a decent laning phase and is fairly safe. A tier. Fenrir needs to be B tier because he's doesn't have early clear, isn't crazy on pressure, can be counter matched up to can be counterpicked, I guess. Counterpicked easily. Not a great assassin, not a great solo laner, not a great support. Really nowhere is Fafnir falling in line. Freya, for me, is going to be S tier. Would be S+, but I believe you can counterpick Freya just out of other lanes. So if you have an ADC Freya or a mid Freya, play gods that kill Freya. Like Arachne, we talked about. Like Serket. Serket is one of the hardest counters to Freya. Always has been, always will be. Plus the high mobility against the god that has low mobility. Works great. I think Ravana actually can do well against Freya as long as you use your abilities correctly. Just play around them picking a slow Freya that doesn't have mobility. And then you can do well against it. But at the same time, you're focusing everything onto that as a Freya, and she can still play around it by playing super safe and only fighting in team fights or only fighting when you know everyone is. Her whoop into her combo at late game against the squishy does like 90% of your health. It is insane damage, and she has the highest early clear in mid lane. I believe she's a mid laner, by the way. I don't really think she's that good of an ADC. I think you should be playing her mid lane. Her early clear is ridiculous. She will outclear everybody. So you have pressure early on a god that needs to be safe, which is awesome. Ganesh, A+. I think Ganesh is a really good support. I think the CC and the silence, so the knock up to silence, really, really annoying, work well, great lane clear. And then the ultimate is actually really frustrating in team fights as long as you're positioning and using them correctly. They don't necessarily have to do a ton of damage. They have to be useful in the team fight. That's it. Your ults, useful team fights. Geb, Really solid, A+. Isn't the best laner, but outside of that, one of the best team fights, best peeling. Essentially, the easiest god to play in my eyes out of the support role, because you're counter engaging if someone goes on you guys. You're ulting, knocking you up, easy. You can play aggressive, so you have both options. You can blink ult, initiate for your team. You have the shield for peel. You've got the knock up for peel. You've got a slow for peel. Your rotations are good because of your rollout. Geb is by far one of the easier, better supports to play. Also is a counter to Athena, who is the best support in the game. Guan Yu, bad god, B tier, have to have some crazy team comp to play him and have him work. Hachi, A-, safe, but not great out of the ADC role. Hades, B tier, has to have some crazy team comp to keep you safe early, build hybrid out of the solo lane, and then be useful in team fights. They have to make some shitty gods for you to be doing well in Hades. Hebo, A-, still a super risky god to pick. People finally learned how to play against Hebo a little bit better. There's a lot of assassins and warriors that can dive Hebo and fuck Hebo over. Plus, you have Freya, who actually, you'd think the matchups were kind of even. Whoever hits who first wins. But Freya can whoop from a longer range. Should be able to get it off easier. And then you can whoop combo ult. Hebo dies. You take no damage. So you can actually have a good fight against Hebo. All the other hunters can out-pressure Hebo that are played in the mid lane. There are mages that still out-pressure Hebo. So you're not seeing Hebo played too much now. Hell, B tier, have to have a crazy team comp built around her. Hercules, A tier, safe solo laner. Can be counter-picked by anti-heal and such stuff like that. Can be spam ganked, but usually fairly safe and fairly easy to just play your lane and do what you can do. Go for pressure. Proxy when you need to because you're fairly safe. Do what you got to do. Ho Yi, A-. Decent hunter, not going to be top picked, does well in most matchups, really good team fight. Hun Bats, A+. I think Hun Bats is one of the better junglers right now. Early clear, meh. With the change to the passive, it is better because you're not relying on any RNG. Definitely better at clearing, which is why he's getting boosted up a little bit. His team fight is honestly one of the most annoying as a jungler. Isis, C tier, no late game. And not enough early pressure to make her viable. Counter picked by so many gods. Not worth playing. Izanami, C tier, counterpicked by so many gods. Not that good of a team fight. Not that good mobility wise. Not super safe, even though you do have the dash. It's just the late. It's not that good. Jannis, A tier, safe mid mage. Usually has pretty good pressure, but has to be played perfectly to really get a full use out of Jannis. You're not just one comboing. You got to use your portals. Got to use your ults correctly. The global definitely boosts Jannis up higher than a lot of mages. Jingwei, safe ADC, simple as that, A-. Kali, shit tier god, C. Y, low clear, low pressure. Late game is not as good as people want it to be. The items don't benefit Kali in any way. They need to change some items to make Kali better. Khepri, B tier, has to be put in the right team comp. I don't think Khepri's that good. I think when you do pick Khepri early, they're picking a Thanatos and just pressuring and executing everybody, picking Quang and executing anybody, or picking Achilles and executing everybody. Kukulkan, A tier, a fairly safe mid laner because of the pressure you have early. You need to position well. You need to be able to hit your ult. Kumba, A+, solid support. Great support. One of the most frustrating supports to play against if you're not an idiot. Please don't just pick up Kumba and assume you're going to know what you're doing. Doesn't usually work like that. Has high damage. Can rotate around the map fairly easily. Is safe rotating by himself. Has a passive where if you are focused early, which does happen a lot, you can die and your team can counter engage and actually win a fight because they're trying to kill you. It's awesome. Kazimbo, B tier, needs a perfect team comp to play around him. Loki, this is disgusting me. I don't know why I'm doing this. I hate it. I never in a million years would have thought I'd do this. I don't fully understand it. Aside from Loki, S-, played in almost every fucking rank game ever. And the only reason I can see it happening is because people are picking mages in the solo lane. People are letting Loki free farm and free do whatever the fuck he wants. And then you can split push to victory late game, which works in rank because people don't know how to group up and do things correctly, and they aren't pinpoint on their calls and everything like that. Plus, if you do get a lead somehow, which happens a lot in rank, you can just farm people on the map. You can rotate to mid lane, proxy behind the tier 2 tower, proxy at the Phoenix, take camps very easily. I hate it. I fucking hate it. Aside from that, that is the only reason I can see Loki being played and doing so well now at a high level. I don't get it. I don't think you'll see it in competitive that much, but it is happening in ranked all the time. It disgusts me. Please don't ever talk about this again. Medusa S-. I think Medusa is one of the better hunters. High pressure, high clear, great team fight. Not the safest of all of them, but when you're playing for pressure, you usually don't care about being super safe. Mercury, after the nerfs, B tier, has to have a crazy team comp around him. They nerfed his early clear, so he's not played as much. Naja, probably the best jungler right now, S tier. In ranked and competitive, if you get Naja, you have pressure for one, out of the jungle and in the mid lane usually. Your kill potential is high at level 2, and then your one-shot potential from like level 7, 8 on is there, especially when you're comboing with any mage that can combo off a Naja ult. Like a Kulkin, like Ra, like Thoth. Thoth still played all the time. Even hunters that are being played in the mid lane. Even Agni. All those gods can combo off of it. Neath, A-, super safe hunter. Great for the global pressure, but not that amazing of a god in terms of what he's going to do throughout the late game in the team fights. You usually run like an ability-based Neath. You have decent lane clear, and you're safe. That's it. Nemesis, A-. I still think Nem is a very good jungler. I think you're picking it when it benefits you, but it is also a god you could just pick third, and who cares what jungler they play against. You can still do well because you're focusing on the team fights. But when you have gods like Zhong Kui being played all the time, Nemesis is definitely going to be seen. Nike, B tier, not great. Need some crazy team comp or some reason to be playing it. Simple as that. Nox, A-. Can be played, doesn't need the right team comp. Doesn't have high clear though, so it's risky. Not the best early pick. Nua, B tier, needs a good team comp because her damage isn't there. She's just safe. She doesn't really bring much to team fights. Odin, A-. Play it into the right team comps. Pick it early when you think they're going to have healing or they have low mobility. It doesn't need to be like, we have this team, so let's pick Odin. It doesn't need to be like, they have lifesteal, let's play Odin. There's lots of team comps, lots of reasons that Odin will come up. That's why he's A-. Osiris, S+. If I could, that was not S. No, there we go. A+. Osiris is awesome. He's good in solo lane. People are even playing him in the jungle and ranked and getting away with it because of his pressure, because he's annoying. And I think people are just going back into the Osiris gameplay. He falls in and out. Some god will come in and do better in terms of the team play, so Osiris falls out of the meta, and then he comes back in because you remember how good a pressure he has. Pressure is awesome. Poseidon, A-. Not the safest. Pretty much everyone's going to have an Aegis against him, but he is still pretty good because he has a crazy ability kit and he has good early clear. Ra, A tier. Safer mid lane because you range clear, stay back, play with your team, play off of CC, hit your ultimates, you're good to go. Late game, engaging, fighting for a second, backing off and healing works extremely well, so Ra does get played a lot and is a fairly average mage. Raijin, A tier. Decent pressure early. Team fight's kind of rough because you are standing still in your ultimate. You do have to be at a decent range to do damage. You will take return damage. Rama, A-, safe hunter. Radatowski, A+, really good jungler, especially in ranked. Has early clear, early pressure, build hybrid, and you're still doing damage, and you're super hard to fucking kill. Ravana, A+, another jungler, still really fucking good. Build slightly hybrid, have 1 or 2 defensive items, dive the fuck out of the mages and the hunters that can't get away from you. You will dumpster them. Your biggest flaw, I'd say, is your early clear, but you can get away from that because you can fight and poke people very easily at level 2, 3, 4, 5. Scylla, A+, A-. Early clear is bad. That's why she's so low. She doesn't need any crazy team comp. She can be played if she is comfortable for you. Serket, one of the best junglers in the game still. S-. I think her clear is unmatched in the jungle. Her pressure is unmatched, and her ability to get around the map and be present in all lanes is higher than every other jungler in the game. Scotty, B tier, need a crazy team comp because of lack of mobility and lack of damage. Sobek, decent support, decent solo laner. Doesn't have crazy lane pressure, but is pretty annoying in team fights. Soul, A tier. Actually a fairly safe mid laner, fairly safe ADC. She doesn't get played all that much, but I think over the course of time, the next month or two, you'll see her a lot more because she's safe, she has good clear, and she is actually very good in the team fight, especially with the items the way they've changed. Sun Wukong, A-, average, fairly safe solo laner. Susano, A tier. If I didn't have an FPS issue with Susano, and I know a lot of other people do as well, I think Susano would be played a lot more because he does well in immobile mages. Displaces them very easily, can get in and out very easily. Doesn't have the best early clear, so it's going to drop him into A. And then on top of the FPS issues, not everyone has the FPS issue. I understand that. You don't need to explain that to me. But a lot of people have the FPS issue. It's a drop in FPS, a drastic drop every time you use your one. Every spin, every dash, whatever, every use of your one, each time drops your FPS. Pay attention to it. See if it's happening to you. I've told Hi-Rez. I've talked about it with a bunch of other pros. It is happening to a lot of people. That's why I personally don't like him. Sylvanas, one of the higher tier supports, A+. Not safe because you have no mobility, but has high pressure and is a really good team fight, plus the sustained healing. Tarah, A tier support. Ultimate's still really annoying. Clear isn't great. Team fight isn't crazy. Just an average support. Thanatos, A-. Really going to do well in your rank games because of pressure. Plus, the execute is nice to have. If you fall behind, you're fucked. He is not safe at all. If you miss Sice, you will lose the game. That's why he's A-. Morrigan, you're seeing her played a lot more, actually. I'm putting her at A+. As a mid, as a solo laner, and sometimes as a jungler. I think she's a good hybrid mage, which is weird. She's getting played again, and she's getting away with it. Once again, I think this comes down to that mages getting played in the solo lane, so people are experimenting and figuring out that these gods actually do well with these different builds. Thor, A+. Safe jungler, can be played in almost every single team comp, every single god, and have a decent time. Clear early isn't the best, but it's not terrible. And your early fight to mid-game fight is amazing. Your CC is amazing. Your ability to pop Magic's Blessing is amazing. Thoth, one of the top tier mids, S-. Not going to put him too much higher because his early clear isn't great, but outside of that, the best mage. Tier, A tier, average god, decent laning phase, nothing special, can be played into most matchups. Ooh, great pressure coming out of the mid lane, decent hunter, A+. The pressure goes a long way. Team fight potential, CC, has it all. Has the damage, has everything. But mana, you're seeing him played a little bit more. Does well into a lot of these mages that are getting played. Does well into a lot of the team comps that are getting picked. Putting him in A, has a decent laning phase. Vulcan, A-. Just not that safe. Otherwise, fairly good. Amazing clear, amazing damage. Just not safe. Xbalanque, A-. Slow ramp up, not the best lane clear. Really good team fight ult. Just a little bit below average for me. Xingtian, A-. Decent support, decent solo laner, has terrible clear. Usually will just be behind for the early parts of the game and then come in and be extremely annoying in the later team fights. Ymir, B-, no mobility, makes him super hard to play. Zeus, no mobility, but decent clear, makes him super hard to play. And then Zhongqi, S-, one of the most annoying solo laners in the game. You will see him get counterpicked. He will fall down over the course of the next few weeks. But right now, people don't know what to fucking do against it. He does well in lane, and he keeps clear. He keeps pressure. He's able to 1v2 when people gank and you have your protections up. And that's how it is. Pele for me would be A+, because your early game on Pele is amazing. It's fucking insane. You can kill people at level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But then late game, you suck dick. The god has too high of damage on your 2 and your 3 early, and then low scaling. So your late game is ass. Build the god hybrid, 2 or 3 defensive items 100%. You will have a better time in the late game, but it's still not a good late game. So Pele would be A+ for me. Whew. A lot of talking, a lot of tier lists, a lot of gods. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for hanging out. I will see you on the YouTube video later tonight. And remember to hit the subscribe button, hit the fucking like button, and leave a comment telling me how much your tier list would have been better than mine and how bad mine is. And I don't know anything, even though I've played this game for 7 years, 6 years, played professional the entire time, and consistently looked at the game from all points of view at all points in time. But how yours is better, and I'm an idiot. Have a good night, guys.